Round number 12, F3A World Series tonight, thanks to RaceKraft Simulations. We are live from Barcelona, Catalonia tonight for this, our silver round. And I tell you what, it's a smaller field tonight, but that gives a lot of drivers plenty of opportunity to get some exposure as they look forward to moving up to gold for seasons to come. And we do have the Gold Series, which we packed out once again tonight. That'll be live around 9 o'clock, but 8 o'clock now with about 2 minutes to go until we go live for the race. Well, here we are with silver. Let's have a look at the qualifying results as we run into tonight's round. And this is how they have qualified. It is Christian Ramisi back on top tonight by a tenth of a second over Timothy Schmellenberg, who has come out for his JWM eMotorsports team and done a very, very nice job putting it on P2. Jared Steen will start from 3 with Nick Schmellenberg back there in 4th place on the grid. Then it's Camilleri out of 5, Doyle, Nins, Monday, Hayes and Hanley running at your top 10. So we'll go down to the grid shortly in about a minute and a half time. But it's lovely to have you on board tonight. There's a couple of practice starts here from Timothy Schmellenberg. Nice to see that being done actually, because a lot of the time the drivers do forget to get out there and do a practice start, which can be make or break at the start of one of these events. So nice to see Timothy out there doing just that. Bradley Hudson's out there as well. Plenty of JWM eMotorsport drivers out there tonight. I think we've got 3 or 4 on the track. 3, I think. There's Peter Morris as well for Fishy Motorsport. Welcome aboard tonight. Hello, I'm Luke. I'll be taking you through tonight's broadcast. And of course, I'll try and bring you guys as much as I can into the chat. And throughout the night, we'll have your input just as important as mine, I think. So hello, everyone over on YouTube. We've also got some drivers tonight. The RaceKraft guys have given us access to their onboard cameras, and they're over there now just practicing away. So we'll definitely go and have a look at them and say g'day. So we'll get a couple of little waves, I'm sure, as we head over and see the drivers. There's Christopher Mitchell. He's getting himself ready for the gold round tonight. Also, we've got Lutsu, who's been super quick. Here he is. He's getting himself ready for gold as well. And Kieran Ellis as well tonight over there, also in the RaceKraft room, getting himself ready for the race later tonight. So good to see the drivers giving us full access. Let's go down to the grid and run through the full driver runs that are happening tonight for this silver. Here we go. Thanks, Graham, for the stars. Welcome to round number 12 of this F3A series. 3 rounds to go, including tonight. So we're getting to the pointy end of the series now, and it is make or break for the drivers to make sure they try and win this crown tonight, the silver race. This is how they will kick off on the grid on the front row. Ramisi Christian up there, P1. Pole position will start alongside Timothy Schmellenberg out of 2nd place. Jared Steen starts from the 2nd row. P3 with Nick Schmellenberg out of 4th. And it's Camilleri. Kurt's done a great job 3rd row of the grid tonight with Sean Dorr running at top 6. Gavin Inns will start from 7th with John Monday and Andrew Hayes, Asher Hanley rounding out your top 10 tonight. 11th on the grid, Peter Morris, followed by Bradley Hudson. Then behind Hudson on the grid, in 13th place, it will be Chris Bush with Lucas Burt, Lockie Capel back there in the safety car, Dave Roberts in the safety car, and Darren Lasser starting from the back of the grid tonight. The safety car drivers standing by. Hopefully they won't be needed throughout this round 12 event tonight. There's a long shot of the drivers getting set on the grid now. And we're just waiting on a couple to load in, and then we will get underway. What a picturesque racetrack it is here at Barcelona. It's the home of F1 here in Spain, and also MotoGP. What a great track it is as well. And there is your pole sitter Christian Ramisi, a great pole as well tonight at a circuit that they well, these cars should be pretty well suited to this what is a classic F1 circuit. They are running the historic track tonight, which gives us, there's your track map, it gives us the fast run onto the pit straight. That will be a huge slipstreaming opportunity tonight, that's for sure. So obviously an important run with a smallish field of only 15 drivers out there tonight. That run down towards turn 1, so important to not tangle wheels. It's a 35-minute race tonight, of course, in the silver before we get to the serious stuff with 50 minutes later on for the gold. So hello Jacob, he says technical track, good luck to the JWM boys, which is fantastic. Good to have you supporting them, Jacob Neasley. And also Graham says, hi Luke, found these in the pot left over from last night. Have a great broadcast. Oh, thanks for that, man. It's the Stars 5:30. Here we go. The revs rise. Let's get set to go green for this round number 12. Silver, there's the getaway. Pretty good off the front row there. Ramisi cooked that up perfectly. He's left everyone in his wake as they head down towards turn 1. Schmallenberg just in behind with Steen now. They've kept to their side of the racetrack. Jared Steen's made a great exit as well, down into the first corner, and he's going to get in there in 3rd place. I thought he was going to get second for a second. He got away very, very well off the line. Monday's made up 4 spots, so a great jump by him, but Ramisi at the front. There wasn't even a whisker of wheel spin, was there? It was a perfect getaway, and he leads us for the first time down into the top end of the circuit where we start to drop down the hill here at Catalunya. And this is where cold tyres, they'll just have to be a little bit cautious. The rest of the field filtering through. You can see Andrew Hayes has dropped a position. Hudson right behind him has moved up a spot. They're battling down the inside. You can see Nins in there as well in the looks like a leopard print car tonight. And Sean Doyle, there's 3 or 4 cars. Big opportunity to go down the inside and make up a move there. And have we got a spin it? No, we don't. Camilleri goes a little bit wide and then regathers it up. And for a second there, thought he was going to go around. He is on the phone to race control. They'll definitely be having a look at that, but out in front, Ramisi, what a great getaway. The privateer flying in the F3A purple and green livery tonight, and the gap already a second. This is through the final part of the circuit now, where you're going to see flat out. Let's have a look from on board. This is the old MotoGP. In fact, the old F1 circuit used to run this way as well, the historic version where they go flat out through the final corner. We get rid of that pesky little chicane that they put in there to slow the cars down, and there you go, carrying plenty of speed onto the straightaway and moving himself already 9/10 of a second ahead across the line. A 1:40.6 from a standing start. Nice getaway as we see the drivers behind still staying close together. Here's Steen and Monday. Monday just ahead of Jared Steen, up 5 spots. So what a great start for John Monday tonight. He's got through that opening lap there, 1:43.0 from a standing start, but importantly made up 5 positions. The driver that lost out the most was Camilleri, who had that contact, has dropped back now into the clutches of Peter Morris, way down in 11th place. So we'll see what race control have to say about that one. Hudson's already, he's very wide through there. Hudson has Hayes just in front, Camilleri trying to recover just in behind. And this is the battle for 8th place. So Hudson's made up 3 spots as well. Let's jump on board with Bradley Hudson as he heads down the hill. We might duck in shortly and have a quick chat to the RaceKraft guys as well, who are standing by. We've got to thank John Lee and all the folks over at RaceKraft for a fantastic amount of support. And they have been incredible throughout this season. And it's great to not only have them supporting the series with their fantastic sponsorship, but also the insight that the RaceKraft team have given us by constantly being available to chat. Race cams as well available. And Johnny Lee's in the house. He says, these guys are lucky I gave up my seat tonight for Kieran Ellis. That's all my tow truck driver has, a day off. And Stephen says, good luck, Silver Boy. So there you go, out in front, Ramisi leads over a second now as he crosses the line to start lap 3. A 1:35.8 now turns the wick up, 2/10 quicker than Schmallenberg, who sits in behind P2 at the moment. He was a 10th off on the second lap. He was 9/10 off on the opening lap. So is the speed tonight of Christian in that first opening lap. John Monday sitting in behind. You can see he's not too bad. He's just matching speeds at the moment with Schmallenberg. He's got to try and close down that 1.3 second margin, get within the tow. And that might just help him catch up and challenge for what is P2. Possibly then go on to challenge for a win. Jared Steen's also got away well. Lost that 1 position, did a 36.7 last time around, and sits now in the tow of Monday. As we head down the hill, let's jump back on board with him. Safety car. So we've got a safety car out on the circuit. So there you go. Safety car. Look at that. Beautiful FRG VRS safety car tonight. And it's going out onto the track. And that'll give us a chance to go and say hello to Christopher Mitchell, who's just chucked some stars in. What an absolute legend. Let's go and have a word with him now. I'm going to butt in. I'm going to butt in right now and say hello, Christopher Mitchell, the Star Master. You're a generous bugger. Hey, the safety car's out already here in split number 1, or the silver, whatever you want to call it. Split 2, I should call it, actually, but silver.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty regular occurrence. But hopefully we can go another week without a safety car in gold. That'd be fun.
That will be fun. 50 minutes around this circuit tonight. What's your prediction, mate? Because it's a tricky one, but running the historic circuit, it's got that nice flowing end to the lap as well.
Yeah, the hot track conditions is probably going to be the thing that catches everyone out, because these cars get a bit slimy when the tyre temp comes up pretty high. And geez, I'd even hazard a guess and take a gamble, maybe even take tyres in the stop. But I don't want to give away track position, so I'm just going to have to suffer in the hurt locker for it.
That's true, yeah. So, and who else is running in the team tonight? We've got Gianni there as well.
Yeah, Gianni's away from his rig at the moment. Kieran Ellis is in. He's on John Lee's personal home rig.
Excellent.
And we've got Andrew Lachlan making gold after his silver podium last week. And Aaron Gray is joining us via video call from his mine site up north.
Is he on camera now?
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how I can quickly flick over there.
Into his cabin.
Where is he? Oh, here he is. Let's have a look, because this is classic. Can he hear us as well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
You're a legend. Where are you at the moment, mate? You're off to work for the night shift, is that right?
No, I've just finished. Just done the old 12.5 for the days.
You're looking pretty fresh, mate. I reckon you should do another 12.5. Just, a company man.
Sits in an air-conditioned cabin, mate. It doesn't work hard.
Yeah, I'll be honest, all I do is sit in my ass and pull levers, so yeah, it's not the hardest job. So.
Sounds like what we all do, so good job.
Yeah.
And I'll flick over to some other guys. We've got, obviously, we've said g'day to Chris. Let's have a quick g'day to Gianni. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks, Luke. How you going?
Good, mate. What's this track like for you? Is it one of your favourites or a bit tricky?
To be honest with you, I haven't really done too many laps around here, but it's after a few laps here, it turned out pretty good for us. So hopefully we got some pace. But I actually got a series, RSR tomorrow night around the exact same track, same layout. So yeah, it'll be a good bit of testing for tonight. But yeah, we'll see how we go and see how we end up. But obviously the main goal is to keep the team's championship alive and see what we can do in the points.
How do you go chopping when changing between the F3 car and the RSR?
It's not too bad. Obviously the RSR is just a bit heavier and not as much downforce, but it's just about different gears in different corners. That's really the biggest thing. But yeah, to be honest with you, it's not too bad. I drive quite a few cars on iRacing, so yeah, chopping and changes isn't too bad for me.
Fantastic, mate. And just we'll say a quick g'day to Kieran as well, who's over on Johnny Lee's rig, mate. He's given up his seat for you tonight, which is fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely excellent. Just got to give a massive shout out to John. Without him, I wouldn't be racing tonight. I was strapped to a desk with the old G29 and it just wasn't working for me. And now I'm in this rocket ship of a thing. So yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be here and racing for this team still. And I just can't thank him enough for it.
Awesome, boys. We'll check in with you later on. We're going to head back to Green Flag Racing now. So thanks to the RaceKraft team once again, full access. We'll chat to you guys later. Cheers. Righto, back to Green Flag Racing here at Catalunya. We're going to lap 5 of the race, and that safety car period is run and done. And like I said, it's great to be able to chat to the RaceKraft guys, and we'll be bumping into them, I'm sure, later on in the evening once we get to the gold round Monday. Just challenging here for P2 already. He's right on the tail now of Schmellenberg, so fantastic restart for him as he heads up the hill. Monday already up 5 positions in the race. Schmellenberg ahead. We'll need to be very, very careful because I think John Monday's got the bit between his teeth tonight, and he needs to probably try and clear Timothy as soon as possible because Christian seems to be in a world of his own. Once he gets away from the pack, he can break that toe early on and disappear off into the distance as we look at him now heading down the hill. The field spread quite big instantly here in this silver round. Like I said, it's a smallish field tonight for what is the third last round of the series. Jacob Measley putting an input there saying be careful of the ripple curves, they are a bit nasty. And Steve also saying Hanley pitted early, should be a winner here. So there you go, we'll just keep an eye on that because he's right, I just have a look back at Asher Hanley. Stopped on lap 1. Now this was not to do with the safety car, this was a strategic move. The safety cars then let him catch the back of the pack. Now as long as he doesn't let that field spread get too large, when everyone else has to stop, that'll put him right towards the front. So at the moment 8.5 seconds the field spread to P1. Keep an eye on that because later on in the night I'm sure that's going to shift around a little bit as the field continues to drive off into the distance. And I tell you what, Ramesi's already got 9/10 of a second on this restart lap. He is super quick tonight. I'm sure the toe's helping a little bit down the straight, but look at that, a 1:35.5 off the restart lap there for Ramesi. He's absolutely on fire. Hello to everyone over on YouTube. We've got Luke Stringer in the house. He's cheering Christian on right now and joking as well. Says, g'day Luke, hope you're well. G'day to all the lurkers, joking. Great to have you viewing tonight as well. And big thanks to VRS once again. Tonight's code word. And don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, or 3 weeks' time from today, we will be drawing the $99 prize. Tonight's code word is Starlight, STARLIGHT. Sorry, that's not correct, is it? I've just read out the password for silver. Luckily, everyone's already in and no one else can join. That's the password for silver tonight. You goose, Luke. It's Ibiza. IBIZA. Oh, gee, luck I didn't read out the gold password. But Ibiza is tonight's password. IBIZA. If you want to enter that code word. Oh, we've got someone off the track there. Chris Bush has just gone off into the gravel trap. He's just regathered it. But we'll drop right to the back of the field and go and enter yourself in that competition, because I tell you what, $99 package from VRS will help you become a faster racer, which is fantastic. Big thanks to them. Big thanks to RaceKraft, and of course all the legends that tune in. Keith Logan in the house says, "G'day legends, sorry I'm late." And g'day Real and the team as well with 100 stars. Keith, good job last night too in the MX-5s, the Roadster Rumble. He was absolutely winning until his internet decided to leave the building. But it was a great run, and Keith Logan, who's a massive supporter of us here, 37-week streak on the stars. Keith, you're an absolute legend. And as we watch Asher now, who has stopped, he's the top driver that has stopped. So pit strategy, let's have a quick look at that now as they cross the line to start lap 7. And he's got a bit of a run on here with Lucas Burt. He's just trying to get past him. So Hanley and Camilleri have both stopped, and so is Hudson down in 15th place. He goes the overtake down the inside. Thank you very much, he says. And that moves him up into 10th now. So Asher's on a really good wicket here early on in this race, and I wouldn't be surprised, as pointed out by Stephen Cassidas over there in the Facebook chat. I'd be surprised if we don't see him up near the front at the end. The gap now 10.4, so he's lost 2 seconds in a couple of laps there to the race leader. That's important to keep it down. Probably around, I think, 20 or so seconds they will lose in the pit stop tonight. So 12 minutes in, 35-minute race for silver. It's a shorter event. 15 cars still out on the race circuit. Dave Roberts tonight and Lockie Capel over there in the Aston Martin safety cars for when they're needed. Let's hope we don't need them again tonight. And this is now Sean Doyle. So the gap between Schmallenberg in second and Monday has opened up. And Sean Doyle is now starting to put a little bit of pressure on the man in P3, John Monday, who was so quick at the start. I wonder if he's just taken a little bit too much out of his tyres, because as we head through the final corner now, Doyle's about to make his move. Now Doyle's up 2 positions into 4th. Monday's up 5 in 3rd. But the last lap was the quickest lap of the race, a 1:34.85 for Sean Doyle. So he's now starting to really put a challenge on. Down the pit straight we go. A bit of cloud coming across the circuit now. And the weather conditions for tonight, 38 degrees, track temp, 25 ambient, so it is quite warm out there tonight. The drivers will just need to work with that, especially for tyre wear. It could be an interesting little feature in tonight's 50-minute race as well with these hotter conditions. Barcelona, there's Lucas Burt for Old Mates and Sons eSports. I'm trying to say that with a lisp. The currently 12th place, Lesueur. A little bit of a way back at the moment, 13th, 6.2 seconds off the back of 12th place. It needs to get a wriggle on here. Let's go back to the front. Your race leader, Christian Ramisi. He's 1.1 seconds ahead. That just came down to under a second. So Timothy Schmallenberger good at the bottom of the hill. And Lucas Burt's just gone off the racetrack for the Old Bates and Sons entry. He rejoined nicely. Doesn't look like he lost any parts off the car, but the number 50 Agnion, Advanced Simulators car, not having the best of luck out there tonight, running all the way back in 12th place. Back to Monday, let's have a look. He's running that generic F3A livery tonight, one of the fantastic liveries that was put out by Dave Roberts over on Trading Paints that you can run. And a few of the privateers jumping on those liveries very quickly, and they look sporting, don't they? They look very good out there. Pleasure, my friend, and great hard worker, and Rue and the team also bloody good lads, says Keith Logan. And they are bloody good lads. The team, I nearly caught up with Rue last weekend. I just missed him by a whisker. I was on one side of town when I visited Melbourne. He was on the other. He was watching some crazy things, and I was doing some crazy things. So I'm definitely going to catch up next time I'm down there, for sure. But he puts, oh, look at the sideways moment there by Doyle. He lost a stack of time. That was huge. We'll get a look at that on a replay shortly. But a big slide out of turn 2 up the hill. and he was lucky to catch that, Doyle. Let's have a quick look on a replay. Just check this out, top of your screen in the, on the onboard, looking back. So from John Monday's point of view, he would have seen that in his mirrors. The gap was basically a car length coming into turn 1, but watch the exit of turn 2. He got aggressive on the throttle. Here it is, watch this. And the big slide, did so well to catch that up, because in an F3 car, usually if you do that, it's good night curtains. You might catch it 1 out of 10 times. A lot of the times you're going to tank slap of that and stick it in the barrier. So great job there, Doyley, to hang on to that as Asher going slow. Lesueur gets past down. And remember, there was a 6-second gap before between these two, so that's just been swallowed up, and Darren Lesueur moves up another spot. I reckon Camilleri, there's something wrong here. There he is. Look at the damage on that car. So Camilleri's in trouble, in big trouble in fact, and he's just trying to get this home back to the pit lane. There's the long shot. He's going to grab it round up onto the back straight. He's got broken front wishbone, right hand side of the car, and that's a good amount of towing. He's going to try and limp that back to the pits and hopefully not cause another safety car. So struggling just to turn the left there. I presume turning right would be even harder with the wheel facing that way. Let's see how it goes, leaving a big strip of rubber on the track. Here's the right hand, not too bad in fact, so I'm sure in the real world that would be a little bit harder, although it is the unloaded tyre through a right hand corner. But he'll get that back to the pits, so good drive. There's a big cloud of smoke up the road from him as well. I see who that is, but Camilleri, it's just gone from bad to worse in the pits, and Hanley's in the pits too. I wonder if there was contact between those two. Look at that, he's got broken back left suspension. So these guys have definitely got together. Let's go and have a look. Here's the replay. So let's see what happens here. So it was Hanley, and there's going to be contact somewhere. Oh, so he spun. Hanley spun, and then Camilleri could not avoid the incident. And that's where we've got our 2 lots of broken suspension from. And a bit of a clumsy little crash, that one. Unfortunately, it's put 2 drivers back in the pit lane, and Asher Hanley's fantastic strategy has probably now gone to the wayside. So, all right, back live and back with the leader. 1.7 seconds out in front and scooting off into the distance. We've got Luke in the house. Says Hanley had to pit early because of damage, and well, he's had to pit again now. And Reese Gorman Hanley with the holy sends. Let's go Steenie and Tanked SRT, says Brewer 74 as well. There is Jared Steen for Tanked SRT, currently sitting in 5th place, so it's quite a gap. Let's have a quick look at the track map. As you can see, your main drivers out on the circuit now. We'll just clear that up so we can see all of them. 15 drivers still running, 2 in the pits, sadly. But there's 5th place, and you can see your race leader just heading up through turn 2 now, up through the sweeper. And the gap back to 6th already, 6.5 seconds, and there's a big gap, about a 4-second window in there. This is where these drivers will start looking for a place to feed back in at a pit stop. At the moment, there's a couple of big gaps after 9th place as well, 15 seconds back. That may actually be a good spot for Christian to slot into. But while you're out in front, generally you're just going to keep racing and racing and racing and racing. And at the moment, this looks like a walk in the park. Let's jump on board, have a little bit of a listen. We'll jump in Visor-Cam for half a lap or so here with Christian through the back end of the circuit. Enjoy. Making it look pretty easy out in front, as we've got Schmellenberg, Monday and Nins all in the pits now. So these drivers in for for their first stop, just exiting now, in fact. So a 4.9 second stop for Nick Schmellenberg, comes out ahead of Johnny Monday, and then it's Lucier and Nins who stopped back in 11th place, a 4.47 second stop for him. As we got someone off track. It's Doyle, I think. Doyle's off and near the barrier there. He's kept the motor running and he spins it around, leaves a nice little pirouette there, but he's heading back towards the fence again, sadly, so that's a mistake. And Lucas Berta just crashed at the same point. Has he got broken suspension as well? Looks okay. I don't think he hit anything. Let's have a look at the Burt crash, because I wonder if that has something to do with Sean Dorr going off. So here's Lucas Burt. He was heading down into turn 1 by the looks of things. Up the hill he goes, and he's going to lose the back end as well. We've seen that a few times tonight. And let's have a look with the rejoin here. Does this... No, I don't think anything to do with Sean Doyle. Let's go to the Sean Doyle incident. Have a quick look at that one, because I think this may have been a different thing altogether. So yeah, just the back end rotating around. How does he get so far off the track? Oh, he grabs the reverse, does he? Goes a long way backwards. And that was a little interesting one. Anyway, does a little over rotation there and ends up facing back at the fence. So he's kept going. P6 though, and that's put him back behind Hayes and Morris now. Peter Morris just in front, up 6 spots into the top 5. Yet to stop the top 6. Haven't stopped yet, so the gap 6 back to 7th is 29.6 seconds. Definitely something to watch over the next 10 minutes in this race, with about 13 to go. We'll have to see some pit stops shortly from the top 6 drivers. And Doyle here now putting the pressure back on Peter Morris after that incident. Let's ride on board with Peter Morris. Fishy Motorsports. Join this one, don't forget, tonight we go to the gold round at about 9 o'clock. How cool the eyes on that helmet there for Peter Morris, as alongside you can just see Sean Doyle trying to get through, not going through. You can see bashing on the limiter as well. Ash Henley says no luck for me tonight. Unlucky, that's for sure. So we're just having a quick look back down the order as well. Lesueur chasing Nins. There's Nins. Goes down 2 spots in 9th and chasing Monday, who was right up there. I thought Monday for a second was on for a podium tonight. He may still get there, but he's going to have a bit of a challenge later on. So he's down in 8th place, 30.2 seconds off the lead, with the top 6 yet to stop. He's ultimately fighting here with Nick Schmellenberg, as Timothy Schmellenberg comes into the pits from P2. So this will give us an indication now on where these drivers that have already stopped are going to end up. So let's keep an eye on this. Down the pit lane they go. There's Timothy. And I can tell you now that the other Schmellenberg's just coming down through the second to last corner. Oh, sideways into the box. He's missed it. So Timothy Schmellenberg's made a meal of that pit stop, unfortunately. Doyle's going to go through. He's yet to stop as well, but where's Nick Schmellenberg? He's just going down the pit straight now. So this will put him up into 3rd outright. In fact, where is Timothy? No, Timothy still gets out in front. Incredible. So that short stop puts the Schmellenbergs together now. So 4th for Timothy, 5th for Nick. JWM have 2 cars up there in the top 5 now. So even with the mistake in the pits, it actually cost him. It was 6.7 seconds stationary for Timothy and only 4.9 for Nick. That's the difference in the pit stop time. And Timothy would have been well ahead, so he may have thrown away a chance for P2. Ramisi now 28 seconds ahead of the first driver that stopped as Camilleri does a brand new fastest lap of the race. A 1 minute 34.81, turning the speed up here. Robert Griffiths in the house says, go Pete, have a good call Luke, see you in gold. Good luck tonight mate, great to have you watching along as well. But yeah, like I said, it's the pit stops, you can win or lose a race there, and that was almost throwing away a podium for Timothy Schmellenberg, who lost a good 2 or 3 seconds. I can tell you it was 5 seconds extra transit time because of that mistake. Ramisi's in the pits now, your race leader, and I'd say you'll have this dialed in. Let's watch him enter the box now. He's doing the old up and down shift. Little, what do you call that? A little cheat, or a little, it's not a cheat really, it's a little loophole in iRacing where you can shift up and down. I think it just gives you a little bit of extra time down the pit lane. I think they wouldn't do it otherwise, would they? He gets out of the lane now where Schmellenberg is just coming across the start-finish line. So he's going to have a pretty decent lead here. So Ramisi goes down towards turn 1. There's Timothy Schmellenberg, and Steen's just going to come out very close to him. So alongside, both JWM cars go flying through. So Steeny goes back to P4. And if he did change the tyres, they'll be cold for the next half a lap here. So he's got to be careful. Nick's gone around Nick Schmallenberg's looped it round at turn 2, and he's facing the wrong way, and he's thrown it away, sadly. He was racing against his brother there, and he's ended up facing the wall. Let's have a quick look at the replay here for Nick Schmallenberg, and was there some contact between the two JWM cars? No, once again, that's a, we've seen that, 3-4 times down the back end, just looping up through turn 2, and awkward spot to spin the car to be able to wait an eternity to spin around and get back onto the racetrack. So he's thrown that away. Monday's got up into the podium spot now, but Timothy Schmallenberg's all over his tail with 10 minutes to go. This is going to get exciting, so don't look away. We've got some very fast racers in this silver server. And don't forget, we go straight to the gold after that for the big one tonight. But these guys looking like it's going to be a run down to the wire between Monday and Schmallenberg for the final position on the podium. Oh, hello. The JWM car gets sideways, and Timothy Schmallenberg almost copies his brother there. He's lost a stack of time and drops back now 0.8 of a second with that little mistake. And Jared Steen up into the top 2 now. Steenie moving along nicely. Tanked SRT driver comes onto the pit straight. The gap 9 seconds to the race leader. Probably forget the race win here unless Christian was to make a mistake. Now, I don't think Christian is the sort of guy that's going to make a mistake with a 9-second lead. Jared Steen on for a P2 tonight. That would be mega. He's got a gap of just on 0.8 over Monday. Schmallenberg in behind. I'll tell you what, they're really struggling up the hill. You can hear the back end of the car again through turn 2. It's getting loose. The tyres screeching. They're having to get out of the throttle there, and that's where we've seen 3-4 cars tonight loop around. Behind them, it's a little bit drawn out. To be honest with you, it's 41 seconds covering the top 10. And that included a safety car earlier tonight, so it's 15 drivers out there. Just struggling, I think, to come to terms with the temperature. The track temp, what is it? It's still 37 degrees, so it's come down a little bit, but as the time progresses through, we're at 4:09 p.m. here, local time, Barcelona, and that track temp is scorching. Massive thanks to everyone that's watching along tonight. By the way, I've got to say, FRG and F3A, they have been getting the top ratings on YouTube since we moved across to Type A and eSports. So well done to all the fans that come and watch, and the drivers as well that watch the FRG broadcast each week. Do yourselves a pat on the back. And if you're sharing it with your friends, well, that helps not just me, but it helps obviously the people that run these series get more sponsorship and cover their costs, which is fantastic because there's a big team in the background, and also just helps people like RaceKraft feel that putting the money into to do these sort of things is worthwhile, because they're a fantastic company, of course, with probably one of the best rigs you'll ever get in the world for sim racing. So make sure you go check out RaceKraft simulations over on their website, which is linked in the description. And if you've got some spare cash, go get yourself one, because they are a quality rig. Johnny's going to make me a special broadcast rig one day. I've got the money ready to go, John. We just got to organise how we design this thing. I still don't know if I want to be sitting down or standing up, to be honest with you. I think I'd rather stand up. If I'm going to keep doing these 6-day a week of broadcasting every night, I think standing up is, for my health, is probably what I would rather do to commentate. So Johnny Monday here, P4. Just watching him now. That sausage curb is absolutely deathly. I was trying to think of a good word for it. It is very easy to smash your car to pieces on that sausage curb, as Monday has a look now. Dives to one side, juts back into the toe. And Steve say Murray Walker preferred standing. There you go. I think Crofty and all those guys stand as well. A lot of real world commentators enjoy standing. I think it's because you can be more animated. I quite often feel a little bit trapped. I sit in a racing cockpit while I commentate. You can't really animate yourself, and ideally I would love to be able to have a second person actually here in the studio with me as well. Eventually, one day, depending on if we keep doing this for another couple of years, because that would be awesome, having two people behind the big screens here and all the buttons and having some fun. That's Ramisi. We haven't spoken much about him. I feel a little bit bad. With 5 minutes to go, the 22 has driven an absolutely superb race tonight. Let's have a look at the lap time chart. A 35, a 38, and then a 54. That was with the safety car, a 35 and a 35.0. So still punching the laps out And lap 17, 35.0 is a little bit off the fastest lap we've seen tonight, a 34.8. We've seen from Camilleri a 34.8 as well from Sean Doyle, and a 34.8 at the top from Ramisi. So those three drivers in particular have dipped into the 34s tonight. We'll see what the gold guys can do. Generally about a second and a half faster, so they can come out and, with fire trails off their tyres. They're so quick, the gold drivers. We'll see that a little bit later tonight as we watch Ramisi head up the hill once again. I love the way this circuit has the up and down undulating nature. It's just fantastic. I know they did their pre-season testing here for Formula One. Some people say that it's not a real good overtaking circuit. It's always been great in the Grand Prix bikes. I think I've seen some fantastic MotoGP races here over the years, and some horrible crashes as well, but incredible races. But it lends itself to a good testing circuit, I presume, because of the different aspects it has, including the fast, big loaded corners for testing, obviously aero, tyre, mechanical grip, all that sort of thing, but also some big stops. The chicane they use in F1 as well for change of direction, and some pretty good speed too down that pit straight. These cars tonight are getting a pretty good wriggle on down the pit straight. Schmellenberger, Timothy that is, up in P3. He's chasing down Steen, but Jared Steen continues to hold out second now, 7/10 of a second, the gap back as he runs up the hill. So he'll be very, very happy with this performance if he can get himself P2 tonight. That would be a real nice win in his books. Just having a look at the main leaderboard too to see where a couple of these drivers fit in. And as I just look down the names now, I can see Ramisi, who's leading the race. He's down in about, I think, 70th position outright in the championship, if you include the gold drivers as well. So we don't really discuss the championship for these guys. They are running their own little championship, but how that ends up we'll know for the final round, of course. But a lot of these drivers do come and go. They don't tend to race every week in silver, so it's not the most consistent championship. I can tell you in the gold round though, Jaden Laddick is leading, heading into what is the third last round of this championship. Chased down very well by Benjamin Roberts. The gap now back to only 42 points in the championship after that terrible weekend for Jaden last week. So, and Gianni for the RaceKraft simulation sitting in third in the championship, 1396 points. So he's only about 107. Get that right, 106 points off the lead of the championship as well. So it's a three-way fight really for the championship in gold. We're going to see them racing in about 10 minutes, 20 minutes time for their 50-minute race tonight. Schmellenberger having a bit of a think about a look down the inside, and he has gone for it on Steen. Steen will have the inside. This is where he's lost the back end a few times tonight. Up the hill we go, and it's all on between these two now. And can he go for an overtake? Now he goes out to one side. He's got the inside run on the Tank SRT car now. Can he keep it together? He does. Nice overtake. So Timothy Schmellenberg now puts it up into P2. Very good job. So can he run on with this, and can Jared Steen hang on to to third place and not give it back to John Monday? With only 2 minutes to go, doing a few calculations here, we should get an extra lap in. We will get one more lap after this one as Christian's just up the road heading to the final quarter of the lap now. So we'll get one more lap in this race, lap 21, and they're going to bring it home, and it looks like it's going to be Christian Ramisi with a pretty good win tonight. There are so many Lukes here, says Josie. Luke, what's your favourite flavour of chips? Says Luke as well. Favourite flavour of chips? I don't think you can go past salt and vinegar as one of my favourite. I don't mind twisties, burger rings. What else? We're talking chips with a lap to go. What's your favourite, Luke? Everyone spam the chat now with your favourite chips. I don't mind some salt and vinegar chips on a bit of white bread with some tomato sauce. Oh man, that sounds unhealthy when you say it out loud, but it is a good little snack now and then. Nick Schmellenberg here for 7th place. He'll be upset with that little spin that he had. He's going to drop outside the top 7. Doyle may even get a run at him here as they head down the pit straight. Doyle's going to appear to your right hand side, and here he goes. So Sean Doyle, he wants 7th now. Nick Schmellenberg goes back to 8th place. He'll try and stay there up the hill with him, but Sean Doyle's got the job done. Back to your race leader though as he comes through the final half of the track. Riso Gomez says, love me some snacker changey. What are they? Snacker changy? Snacker change chips? I've never heard of them. I have to Google that. Probably stitching me up with something rude, eh? No, they're probably a chip that I haven't had here. Maybe some sort of, where are you, Melbourne? Melbourne chip, maybe. Imagine one day DSR gets sponsored by Smacker Cheney. Very good. Right, Ramisi coming through the final couple of corners now. There's a car smashed in the fence there. Lucas Burt. Oh, dearie me, Lucas Burt in all sorts as your race leader goes through as well. And to come down to take the checker flag, how about that for an awkward moment? But Christian Ramisi, nothing awkward about that. That's an 11.8 second win. Crosses the line ahead of Timothy Schmellenberger, who's going to come around for JWM eMotorsports and take out P2. And there you go. Crosses the line there. Jared Steen gets P3. Great run for him. Monday 4th. Gavin Inns 5th. It's Hayes Doyle. Schmellenberger will cross the line to take 8th behind Doyle. Peter Morris and Camilleri should round out your top 10 tonight, but that was an interesting race. For the first one tonight, Ramisi made it look so easy out in front. We will have a quick wrap up. We'll get some interviews with the drivers before we head over to the gold server for the big one tonight, but that was a great win there. Christian Ramisi, we'll talk to him soon. He's on top tonight. He's got himself a race win. Well done. Barry loves the tubes. I love tubes too. Top 3 go to gold for next week. That's right, Ramisi, Schmellenberg and Steenie will head across the gold. There's your race winner. Putting on a smoke show in the gravel trap. Get it back on the tar, son. There he goes. Christian Ramisi celebrates with a fantastic race win. We'll get the results up on the screen for you now. And here it is, officiated by iRacing. Oh, he just collected one of the JWM cars there. Ramisi wins it by 12 seconds in the end over Timothy Schmellenberg and Jared Senior. Top 3. We'll head across to the broadcast booth now and stand by for some interviews with the drivers before we then head across to gold. We'll see who's rocked up and who's ready to chat. Got to go find the broadcast room. There's so many rooms in this server. It takes me a little while just to find it. There it is. All right, let's get ourselves ready. And of course, we will go talk to the one and only Christian Ramisi when he arrives. We've got Jared Steen standing by and Timothy Schmellenberg hopefully also making his way across. It was an interesting race with the one safety car as well tonight. We'll go back and we'll have a little bit of a look at the start of the race. This was the get-go. Just watch the start by Ramisi. No wheel spin at all. Jumped off the line perfect. And disappeared off into the distance. I'll grab Jared in while we're waiting for Christian and Timothy to rock up, because Jared, mate, that puts you into gold for next week. Fantastic race tonight with P3.
Yeah, cheers, man. That was a pretty hectic race.
Talk us through the last couple of laps. So you had a good battle with Timothy and you just couldn't hold on?
Yeah, I seen that, third and fourth place were battling pretty hard, and I was thinking, oh, come on, keep going, boys. And then I seen they broke away a little bit, and then I just thought, oh, well, I'll just try and hold on to the podium spot.
Looked a bit tough out there on the tyres. Was it a bit, with the hot temperature, a bit hard to get it dialed in?
Yeah, towards the end of the race, they were sliding around a fair bit, but yeah, pretty cool.
All right, let's grab Christian in because he's just joined us. So, Christian, well done, mate, with a fantastic win tonight from a great getaway off the line. You got no wheel spin at all. You launched perfectly. Just talk us through that race, mate. Was it a little bit lonely out in front?
Just a little bit. Can you hear me first of all?
Yeah, loud and clear, mate. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a bit lonely out the front, but yeah, it was a great race.
And I was just saying to Jared there, it's a bit tough to get the car dialed in tonight with the heat and the track, and they look like they wobbled around. A lot of incidents at turn 2 tonight, heading up the hill with the back end of the car getting away.
Yep, after the pit stop, the rear end definitely started to kick out a lot more, like last 15 minutes or so.
Well, you did well, man. It looked very comfortable at the front. Your pit stop was lightning fast, and you made it look very, very easy. We'll come back to you shortly. Timothy, well done for JWM eMotorsports, man. P2 tonight. You had to fight at the end there, but in the end, the top 3 got back to their starting position. So well done, Timothy.
Yeah, I had a good race with my JWM teammate. Didn't end great, but we got through and yeah, fought way back to second.
Got a feel for Nick, mate, as he spun around and unfortunately lost a heap of spots.
Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe would have been 2 of us up there on the podium.
Great to watch that, and obviously joining the team has worked out well for you as well.
Yeah, JBM's a good team to be a part of. I'm glad to have gotten the opportunity, and it's working out well so far.
Flying the flag well, and off to goal for next week for the top 3. So well done. Let's do some thank yous before we head to the gold server, starting with you tonight, Christian. Who would you like to thank, man?
I'd like to thank my fiance Josie and my friends for tuning in every week to the podcast, to the stream. And thank you to you, Luke, for hosting the event, and to Rue and RaceKraft for sponsoring the event too.
Good on you, mate. And fantastic win tonight. Off to goal for next week, as Rob Bowden says, well done, Steenie. See you in gold next week too. But Timothy, who would you like to thank, mate? P2.
Just thank the event organisers and sponsors, and of course, JWM eMotorsports for the opportunity, and Christian for the battles at the start of the race. It was good.
Great job. And then finally tonight, P3. Jared, who would you like to thank, man?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the guys at Tank. It's a good bunch of guys, and good luck to the boys in gold. Just like to thank you for putting on this stream, Rue and everyone behind Race Control for organising this series, and all the other guys for a good race.
Fantastic, man. So well done to our top 3 tonight. We're going to head across to gold, but your race winner tonight, Christian, and then it was Timothy and Jared, P2 and P3. Thanks, boys. We'll see you in gold next week.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Excellent. Right, let's go across and find that gold server. We'll be back with you shortly. It takes me about 2 minutes, so bear with us. While I do that, we'll stick on a bit of music, and I'll be back with you shortly.
The RaceKraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed the Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a RaceKraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The RaceKraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation. Yeah, we worked here.
2 laps left, come on, you're looking good for a podium. Clear right, clear right. Still clear right. Car clear left.
We are back, folks, for the Gold Series round tonight. It is round number 12 of the F3A World Series, thanks to RaceKraft Simulations. Live tonight from Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, for this fantastic 50-minute race. It's quite warm out there tonight. It's just dropped to 36 degrees, 37 or 38 before for gold, but just dropping a little bit now as the time of the day also gets closer to the PM, or the late evening, I should say. Ben Holko's gone quickest in warm-up. Let's go down to the grid, though, and get straight into this, our grid for the big one. The gold race here, F3A World Series. Let's go to the grid. On the grid tonight, this is how they will kick off. Round number 12, Jaden Laddick has put it on pole position tonight. Alongside Ben Holko starts from 2 with Rob Crouch and Benny Roberts off the second row, Ben Dutton. And Gianni Lutzu ran out your top 6. There's Kunitska out of 7th tonight with Mara, Mitchell and Dixon rounding out your top 10. Shane Russell starts from 11th tonight with Mazoka in P12 on the grid. Further down 13th is Rewalt, O'Gorman, then Mabry and Roberts with Pocock, Hardy, Edwards and Mulby. Your top 20 drivers tonight. Sam Katakazinas back in the seat, 21st on the grid tonight. Starts alongside Griffiths with Casitas and Johnson behind. Big field of cars, 25th on the grid. Brenton Hawkins with Crespo, Arthur and Baldwin, followed by Reese Clayton and Kieran Ellis in the car tonight. P30 driving in John Lee's personal rig from RaceKraft. Out of 31st tonight, Chris Barnes with Brett Parker. 32nd on the grid. Then it's Lockie Taylor, Sebastian Guest in the car in 34th place. Mickey Rubok starts from 35th tonight, promoted up into the gold class. Justin Bizot from 36 down at the back of the field. 37th on the grid. Sean Malloy with Andrew Lachlan, Lockie Capella in the safety car. Dave Roberts in the safety car. 38 drivers getting set to go racing here live on RaceStars TV for what is round number 12 of the F3A World Series. Just waiting on the final drivers, and it is your championship leader waiting on him to grid up. Everyone else is there waiting. Let's hope we don't have an issue with him again tonight, not making a start from P1. I'm hoping it's just a slight pause here. There's all the driver names top 20. And as you can see, blanked out Laddick at the top there, leading the championship tonight, coming into this round by a greatly reduced amount of points to Benjamin Roberts, who starts off that second row tonight. Laddick has joined the grid, and the car is painted, ready to get underway. The fans are in the house. Look at that, 38 cars getting set to do battle tonight in the Gold Series round. It's an incredible field of cars. Let's wait for the getaway. Let's see if Jaden Laddick can get his very, very good start that he generally gets. He does get away perfectly. No wheel spin at all. Straight in the middle of the pack there. Jack Mara's made up a position. They run away from the line down towards turn 1. Great getaway. And it is Laddick who leads. He's covered off the inside line now. Holko and Crouch go side by side. Roberts moves up a position, up into P2 now as they head up the hill for the first time. And look at them snake their way up through the S's. So Laddick, Holko, Roberts, Lutzu's made up one position. Mara and Mitchell have both made up a couple of positions. But Laddick out in front, in control. And perfect start to his race, and also regaining that mega lead in the championship he had. He'll want to get those points back as quickly as he can. Christopher Mitchell makes up 3 spots now as he gets past Jay Dixon, who just drops back a position in the braking zone there. Riso Gorman up 2 spots into 12th. He's moving along nicely. We've got a spinner. I think it's Andrew Johnson. May have gone around. He rejoins back in the pack as he got broken suspension. I don't think so. We do have a spinner there though. That was Jack Mara. Big cloud of dust going around. Mara's in the fence on the opening lap, unfortunately. Not sure if there was contact with another car, but he's definitely hit the barrier down there as he backs it in. Gianni moving around, trying to get some temperature into these tyres. You can see Mitchell, the same thing. Both the RaceKraft cars there, big weaving down the straightaway, just trying to get any sort of temperature wound into these tyres in this opening lap of the race. The number 1, Laddick leads already 1.2 seconds ahead of Ben Holko, and Benjamin Roberts now needs to try and get himself honed in onto the back of Holko's car and move himself up into P2 if he can. Right, he locks in now out of the final corner, had to back out of the throttle. Holko got on the dirt, so he's right out of the throttle there. This will be a good run for Roberts. Should be able to sneak through up into P2, go down the inside on Holko and get a run on him. And they go wheel to wheel into the braking zone. And Roberts moves up into P2 now. Lutzer continues to move forward as well in 5th place. In the background, we've got a drive-through penalty for John Baldwin for an incident on lap 1. Race control just come through and have given him the bad news. So he'll have to go and circle through the pits. And unfortunately, that will put a real dampener on his race. Lutzer moves up a position now. He goes wheel to wheel with Crouch. Rob Crouch dropping 2 positions now to P5. Christopher Mitchell's all over the back of him too, trying to find a way through. We're going to head across shortly and jump into the RaceKraft room and have a look at the action as Mitchell now works all over the back of Rob Crouch. His teammate just in front, so he's in a RaceKraft sandwich. Crouch as they head up the hill through this sweeping right-hander. You just hope for the best. Don't clip that sausage curb on the inside because it'll be lights out. See you later. And Mitchell now focused on the back of Crouch's car, will look to the inside, hard on the brakes, down the inside he goes. He stuck the nose in there. Was there some contact? There was a lock up from Crouch, and now Mitchell goes to the left hand side up around the right hander. We'll try for a switchback here. Good opening exchange. We're only 3 minutes into a 50-minute race here tonight, and these guys are fighting like it's the last lap of the race with the championship on the line. Fantastic job. Lutzu, by the way, up 2 spots into 4th. He's just ahead of this pack and on the back of Roberts and Holko. Roberts now just getting himself a little bit of a buffer. He crosses the line there, a 34.0 for Laddick in the front. 2.3 seconds now clear of Roberts' incredible pace. And right down the order, there is some battles. Look at the train we've got going on. Russell's in there as well. There's the DFR driver, Shane Russell. And as Crouch just dropped back, Crouch very, very slow out of turn 2. He's going to lose momentum here. Rewalt's going to probably get through on him. You can see the way the front end is really getting punished through that long loaded right-hander. Still some weaving going on. That's Dixon, I think. No, it wasn't. It was Kinitska just up the road. Still trying to get temperature into the tyres to the Pace Syndicate Alpha driver. So struggling. They're all, I think, in the same boat tonight. The temperature out on the track still 34 degrees, so it's dropped a little bit more. We're just on 5:01 p.m. local time here at Catalonia now. Partly cloudy in the sky, but it's 20 degrees ambient. At 34 degrees track temp, the drivers will be feeling that, and I can tell you right now, most sim racers like it to be about 18 to 20 degrees. They don't like a warm track, they like a nice cold track. And wow, flying along. Lucas Burt says this will be awesome. Cooper says this is a 0 incident race for Mabry. I can feel it at the moment. Where's Mabry? Is he down the order a little bit. Find him in a second. There he is, Jacob Mabry, up 2 spots into 13th now, as he just challenges Dutton Mazoka wheel to wheel in front. So this is Ben Dutton, who's just ahead now of Mazoka, who's right on his inside. This is so close between them. On board now with Ben Dutton, just looking back over his shoulders. And what a great shot that is, the 505 endurance car, the 555 car. Look at this, is Mabry. Dave Roberts is in there as well. Riso Gorman behind this little crew of cars, and Edwards battling. Then Katakazinas, good to see him back in the seat tonight. The 968 team Bushfink Racing. And Mazoka's gone around, has he? Mazoka's off the track on the grass down there at turn 1. He rejoins, I think, broken suspension. It looks like it's just moving around at the back end there. He's on the phone straight away to race control. Doesn't look good. You can see by the way he's having to steer that car, something is broken. I think in the rear end. Just trying to get a close up there, but he's definitely got it twisted around, and a lot of left hand down in that car. So big damage for Anthony Mazoka, and we'll see if we can pick up if there was a contact there or he just went off the track. Here's a replay. Let's have a look. So it was down to turn 1. Oh, he got dive bombed there by one of our Kiwi friends, I think it was. Contact, and that's done some suspension damage. So unlucky. Trying to pick up which driver it was that sent it in on him. And I wonder if, was it Riso Gorman? May have been Riso Gorman for DSR, in fact, that made the contact there. Won't confirm that, but we'll see if race control have a little bit of a look at that later on. Back to live now, and back with Laddick leading the race. There he is, 1:33.7 now. 2/10 quicker than Roberts on the lap. He's just turning it up and up and up, this man. He's incredibly fast, and I don't think they've got an answer for him. He had an unlucky round last week, didn't he? It was just terrible misfortune, basically. But tonight he seems to be just back on true form. And the number 1 on the car for a reason. The series points, by the way, like I said, coming into tonight's round, Laddick leading it by just on 42 points. So that got halved last week with the incidents that happened to him. Roberts had a great performance to get some points back, and Gianni as well, getting himself back in the frame. He looks very relaxed while he's driving tonight. Gianni Lutsu, P3. We haven't had a safety car yet, so the drivers just had to push on, work hard behind the wheel. There he is in the car now. He'll be focused. He's into a podium position now, P3. Haven't seen any of the top drivers going for a pit stop yet. They'll be going as long as they can, I think, throughout this first part of the race. In fact, just as I say that, we've got someone in the pits, but that is Anthony Mazoka. It took him that long to get back to the pit lane to take service, so just goes to show that damage has cost him dearly tonight. But Gianni continues the fight. He's just dropped back now 8/10 off the back of Roberts. So we need to try and get a wriggle on. You can see Roberts, it's just daylight between himself and Laddick, isn't it? Now over 4 seconds to the lead. So Jaden Laddick, he comes out and he's blitzing the field at the moment. There he goes, past us on the pit straight. We'll have a look at the turn 1 camera. This will give you an indication. Watch Laddick coming into frame now. And then as he heads up the hill, have a look at Roberts in the background. So there goes Laddick now leading. The gap back to Roberts. There he goes, Roberts in there, then Lutsu in trailing in behind. And then it's Mitchell and Holko. These guys are battling hard, so this is the battle for 4th place. Holko goes through, Mitchell on the outside, trying to get some traction. Further back were Walton Dixon, Dutton and Russell Mabry. Dave Roberts goes through as well, but how about Christopher Mitchell? We've got a 10-second penalty for Steve Kasitis causing an incident on lap 2. That's just been handed out from race control. Christopher Mitchell trying to find a way through now. If he can get up into P4, I presume he'd love to be on the back of his teammate and they could work together in this race. Something we haven't mentioned yet is Mickey Rubok, promoted this week up into the Gold Series. He's had a couple of incredibly great rounds, some bad luck as well for Mickey to not get a podium probably the week before with that incident. There's always got to watch out there. That's off the track there. There's Dave Roberts has gone off and had a bit of a moment. But Mickey, another person that gives us full access. Hey, we got that timed well tonight. But I said to Mickey after the race, on the podium last week, didn't come and say g'day. I was very disappointed. We'd love to get an interview in, but once again, up 14 spots into 21st, so that's a fantastic performance from Reebok tonight. So moving forward, Pocock's the next up the road, and let's jump on board for a moment here. Right on the back now, Pocock, Sebastian Guest, and Ruud Koistra. He commented last week when Mickey crossed the line for that podium, just to see that excitement, to see the just the nature of joy that came from that podium. That's why we do this. That's why we do sim racing. And yeah, pumped. Mickey's pumped. Got a great slipstream here on Pocock. Sebastian Guest as well. Now we head up turn 1. This is great action. And thanks again, Mickey, for giving us full access to the webcams as always. And we head over to another driver that's up in the gold class tonight. Kieran Ellis up 3 spots for RaceKraft in Johnny Lee's rig tonight, getting the gold VIP treatment. Not bad when you get to jump into the RaceKraft boss's personal simulator rig, and it's a very good looking setup as well. And up 3 spots into 27th on the back of Dave Roberts, who's recovering from that spin, that slide, and unfortunately he's just down the order a little bit now. Roberts will get back into it though. Let's go back up into this battle between Holko, Crouch, Knitska, Rewalt, Dutton and Jay Dixon. The top 10 fight that's on here, as Christopher Mitchell now has got ahead of Holko and can chase after his teammate. So Mitchell there, dropped 1.1 seconds to his teammate on the previous lap. It's now 7.8 seconds off the lead. So it's busy out there on this track. I mean, you get 40 cars out there. It's always going to be busy. They're really pushing the limits through that final corner. Here goes Rob Crouch, having a shot now at the back of Holko. Let's jump on board. He's looking up a slipstream here. He's dropped 3 spots, so we want to try and get this position back. He goes to the side now, and he'll try to go the long way around the outside. That generally doesn't work through turn 1 here at Catalonia, but if you can stay in there, you will get it up the hill. And there you go, it comes back at him. Holko gets the inside then for turn 3 through the big right-hander. And in the background you can see Rewalt, Knitska. They're also wanting to get involved in this. And then Ben Dutton also just showing the nose there. Whenever you can feel the wing mirrors of the driver in front of you and just make them know that you're there, it can force an error. So looking very good. He dives to the inside. That's a big dive bomb. Knitska leaves him space. A good vision there from Marcus Knitska to see Dutton sending it down the inside. Dutton's going to probably have another shot here, and he does. Wheel-to-wheel action between these two. And wowee, that was full on. As we head up the hill now, Knitska drops back to 9th place, but that was a really close moment. And luckily, no contact was made. You've got to give probably 80% of the credit there to Marcus Knitska, because he saw the big dive bomb and he quickly left a car's width for Ben Dutton to slide into. Good driving. Crouch and Rewalt. This is James Rewalt up 6 spots. Really good effort here tonight. He now fights up 6 spots on the back of Crouch, who's dropped 3, and Holko who's dropped 3 as well. 33.6 again for your race leader Laddick. He's not easing up tonight, is he? He just continues to fire in the laps as he crosses the line through the final corner. Rewalt goes onto the pit straight away. Look at that train of cars. So from 5th down to what is it? Way down. There's a huge train of cars up the hill. There goes Roberts in the distance. You can see how far up ahead he is. And Laddick and then Mitchell will lose them on that camera as they head up out of sight. Christopher Mitchell's now got a 3.3 second gap back to the car behind him. Still a lot of pit stops to come. No one's in the pits yet. We're 13 minutes into the race. Let's do an onboard lap here. Visor cam with, I reckon, Ben Dutton. So he's right in the thick of things. Let's jump on board and have a listen. Oh, spin. There's contact there. So Dutton, he kept it going, but he made some contact down the inside. We might have to go and have a look at that, because that was a big moment. And that may get him a penalty. He's tried to go in at the same spot he did on the previous lap. And it hasn't given me an indicator. It hasn't given me a marker for that one. So it didn't hit him hard enough to send off a crash indicator. But let's just try and see if we can't jump in here and have a little bit of a look. There it was. So it did give us something to have a look at. Let's go back and we'll slow-mo this. So he did just what he did on the lap before, but unlike what Knitska did, the door was slammed shut there. Well, nowhere to go. Luckily, that wasn't a bigger accident. You can see the other drivers behind. There was a bit of nose-to-tail contact behind, and then they all got going again. I think they've all got away with that. Mabry's unfortunately dropping down the order now as I just go back to live, because I just noticed he'd just dropped way down, and also, oh, into the fence. Big hit there for Brett. He smashed that into the wall, and this could be our first safety car as he calls up race control now. And where is that? It's down at the final corner, isn't it? So this will be a safety car. And the 38 car is completely smashed up. Ooh, has he been given permission to tow, possibly? So we may not get a safety car. So it looks like he's either been given permission to tow, or he's just decided to tow. But we're going to stay green after all. So there we go. Vladik leads 6.7 seconds. He'd be happy there's no safety car, because that 6.7 seconds goes out the window as soon as you get a safety car. Lutsu now starts to hone in on the back of Benjamin Roberts. This is for P2 in the race. You can see he's been consistently taking about a 1/10 of a second out of him lap after lap. So 10-second penalty for Ben Dutton for causing an incident on lap 9. That's the dive bomb we saw before. So he's just been given a 10-second for that. Just look at those times down the bottom. Lap 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Lutsu consistently just taking little chunks. And little chunks they are, but the last 2 laps has been well over a 1/10 of a second out of Ben Roberts. So here he goes. He's on the charge, Lutsu, for RaceKraft simulators. And he can fancy himself P2 tonight. Can he drag Christopher Mitchell with him, who's back about 1.2 seconds off the back of Lutsu. Drive-through penalty for Brett Warby for towing without approval on lap 9. So there you go. That was what we saw before, as O'Gorman's in the pit lane. He's gone in for his first scheduled stop. But that towing without permission, that's part of the rule book for F3A, and what generally that would have been a safety car probably, which would have closed things right up, but the driver is towed without permission and they get themselves a penalty for doing so. And quite a slap on the wrist. I think they even get a race ban sometimes in certain series for doing that. It's a tough one, because I know a lot of iRacers just have a natural reaction to towing as soon as they can. It's just, you crash, you tow. Just the way it is. Rook Koister again tonight with the race control panel up on the screen. There it is. That's what our race director is watching at all times. So he's got a couple of different feeds there. And then he's got all the telemetry, the track map, and Rook can click through different items there to make sure everyone's being well behaved. That's a huge technical side of this racing that a lot of people don't realise goes on in the background, and that's the picture there. I'll show a big screen of that. Just shows the race director's view. So he's just flicking through different drivers there. You can watch replays of incidents, and that's how they're so quick to be able to adjudicate and throw out penalties. So it's a really cool insight that they do give us over there in the race control channel to have a look. There's 4 of them in there right now, all sharing their screens, looking at different incidents, which is very cool, I've got to say. Rubok's up into 17th now, so it continues to oh dearie me, just as I've said that, we've gone in. There's a shake of the head, and oh dear, gone around sadly, and Mickey will try and get that going again, but that's not ideal. We'll see if there's another car involved in that, because Pocock was there at the same time, and Rubok will try and, oh no, broken front suspension. So Ellis is on the radio too. Was there another car involved in that? Definitely Pocock's come up with a crash indicator. Let's have a quick look at a replay for that moment with Rubok. So lost the back end, and there's the contact. So 444 unfortunately knocks the front wing off, and the back end just goes around there. It snapped very, very quickly. That was Scotty Pocock. Nowhere to go. Let's have a look at the onboard from Pocock as he came around the corner. Whoop, that's not the best view, and there it was, a big hit, and not much you can do in that sense. That's would be race ending as well for Pocock. Definitely took the front wing clean off it, so unfortunate for both drivers there. Rubok will probably wear a bit of that one from race control, depending on how they look at it. It looked like a racing incident, just lost the back end, but then whenever someone else is affected, it can be a penalty going your way. It's busy out there, isn't it? What happened to Mabry, says Ming. Let's have a quick look if we can find him. Is he still out there? He is. Yeah, Jacob's down in 20th place. So Jacob Mabry for the Gaming Den eSports team, down 5 positions in 10th place. Yet to stop, including all the drivers above. So top 24 yet to stop. This man is the first that has stopped tonight. Reese O'Gorman for DSR. Currently running a fair way back. What is it off the lead? 39.5 seconds off the lead. So if we were to get a safety car now, and particularly obviously you're going to see most of the cars pit if we've got a safety car, but it might just get Reese into a podium position as Brenton Hawkins comes into the lane, and Lachlan in the background as well, racing for RaceKraft tonight. Very busy here with Robbie Griffiths. Sorry, it's not Robbie Griffiths, there's a couple of lap cars in there. It was Hawkins and in the pits, so there's a couple of lap cars there. Guest in front, in fact, and O'Gorman is there as well, up the road. So it's a busy little battle pack way down the field. Robert's still P2, and the gap back to Lutzu's just dropped out a bit now. So Lutzu, who we mentioned before, had just been chipping away lap after lap, has now just dropped back a little bit off the pace. Pete Ellenbogen's in the house, and I wonder if it'll come up anonymous again, Peter, on the screen. Let's have a quick look. It generally takes a couple of seconds to come through, but thanks for the stars, man. Hope you're doing well. Peter Ellenbogen, the voice of our F5000 series and many sports sedan series as well. Some very fond memories of the early days of RaceStars TV, it feels like, but there you go, Mr. Anonymous. Thanks, Pete, as we continue to watch this great race tonight. So there's Mitchell. In fact, he's closed the gap down a little bit now to his teammate, and I'm half tempted to jump in and have a chat to him. We don't usually talk to them unless it's safety car conditions, but I'm looking at Mitchell now. He looks in focus, doesn't he? Oh, look at the way he's having to hang off the steering wheel through the first couple of corners. And that's where we've seen so many errors. Hey, Peter Morris, Peter as well. We've got the Peters in the chat. But Mitchell really working hard. He's constantly chatting to his teammates as well. You can see the amount of force he puts into that brake pedal as well. Just watch the reaction when he hits the brakes at the end of this little straightaway. Just watch this. Probably you won't see it here. I think probably the best one will be down the back straight into the hairpin to the left. But you'll just see the way he stamps on that brake pedal. He puts a lot of force in. Luke says the DSR boys with some very dodgy netcode incidents tonight. So there you go. Just keep an eye on this. So just watch Christopher Mitchell as he comes down this back straightaway. Watch his body at the end of the straight. We'll go large screen. Here he is. Watch. Jumps on the brakes. Look at that. A lot of pressure going into that brake pedal. And they say sim racing isn't energetic at all. I tell you what, he's working hard tonight. Laddick is, well, he's the opposite, isn't he? He just looks like he's cruising. He looks like he's out there in a Tesla or something, just cruising down to the shops. Kicks up a little bit of dust there, but the gap now 6.8 seconds back to Roberts at the halfway, well, almost at the halfway point of the race. It seems to be, without that safety car tonight, which would have really changed things, it would have probably forced the hand of a lot of drivers for an early pit stop. But without that safety car, it tends to, well, it spreads out a little bit here tonight. Considering we've got 40 cars out there, or 38 drivers, it's pretty incredible that there's been not so many incidents, as Hardy gets a good run here on Catakazinas down towards turn 1 and should be able to make that stick. Sam has a little bit of a look back at him, but job done. He's up into 11th place out right now, up 7 spots, so good job. Heads up the hill. Behind them it's Jay Dixon just on the back of that little fight too. Then Chris Barnes further back for Tanked SRT, the number 74. And then behind Chris you got Malloy, Clayton next in line. It's got Dave Roberts for company in the 44. Then you got Mabry, Jacob Mabry in the 11 there. Behind him it's Taylor, Barker, Johnson. Good to see Johnson back in the car tonight as he goes through. And Justin, Reese O'Gorman back in 23rd. Remember, Reese has stopped. He's our top driver that has gone through, taken 5.2 seconds worth of fuel, which should get him to the end of this race, the DSR driver. Hardy is back under attack here from Sam, so Sam didn't like that. He wants to get this position back. He has a little bit of a look down into the hairpin. Now they accelerate out of there, and well, Hardy really lit up the tyres and he's punching the rears. And that gives Sam a little bit of a look. Now up towards the final big sweeping right-handers. We're running this historic version of the circuit tonight. So 2 big right-hand corners to finish the lap compared to the tight little tricky chicane we would normally see in the F1 world. Fantastic job again. So 24 minutes in, Laddick leads. Let's jump on board. We might actually jump in with Sam Catakazinas here because we don't tend to do a visor cam with him, and he's challenging back in the lead. So let's jump on for a lap here on board Sam Catakazinas. forward for a lap there with Sam. He's driving the wheels off that thing, isn't he? He's having to work hard. The back end sliding around. Clayton's in the pits now for his first scheduled stop. Number 8, the Gaming Den car in for a stop. But Benjamin Roberts he's just surprised me there. He's just flicked in a fast lap, a 1:33.7 in the Machine Cult Mini Muscle Cars entry now. As he goes underneath our camera there, the 37. He's just pulled that margin back out to 2 seconds to Gianni. And has he been just holding back a little bit here, saving some fuel? He maybe considers that he just can't run the pace of Laddick tonight. Maybe he's just trying to consolidate and take that second spot for the championship to try and also secure P2 in that championship. But he's just been able to pump out a lap that's 3/100ths quicker than the best lap Laddick has done tonight, with no assistance of a toe as well. So that's pretty decent, and it helps him just breathe a little bit easier. And I wonder if he's just thinking now of a pit stop. 26 minutes in, they'll be starting to see their fuel numbers. Comes through the final corner to start another lap. So you can just see there, let's have a look at the times as they cross the line. So the times to Laddick, he was up by 66 thousandths on the previous lap. He's up by another 3/100ths on this lap. Important times back, look at that, the last 5 laps have gone in his favour against Lutsu now. So nearly 3/10ths on lap 13, 1.5 tenths on lap 14, 2 tenths 15, 3.5, nearly 4 tenths on lap 16 with that fast lap, and then 4 tenths there on lap 17. So just taking some pressure off himself, and you can see the gap now is pretty decent. There's the 2 RaceKraft guys, and Mitchell has really closed that up now onto the back of his teammates. So this is where maybe I wonder if Lutsu's just struggling a little bit with the tyre graining and the tyre phase in this race, and maybe Mitchell might just say, listen mate, how about we switch around here and let's see if I can't just close that margin to Roberts a little bit. Chaser Checkett says, go Pace Syndicate crew. It's good to see Pace Syndicate in force and having some good following on the live comments too. So here goes Christopher Mitchell down into that braking zone again. Just drops back a little bit, back to 7 tenths to his teammate. Roberts is up the road. There goes Benny Roberts disappearing around the corner. Race car, the Machine Cult Mini Muscle Cars entry. Don't forget tonight too, make sure you've entered that code word. Tonight's code word is Ibiza, I-B-I-Z-A, for that $99 US prize from VRS. If you want to get quicker at your racing, you need to enter that competition. It's free competition to win a cool prize like that. Rob Bowden, Cooper, Miles has been in there as well, Ben Dutton, Daniel Yeaman. They're the last people that have entered the competition. I can just see over on the sheet, so well done. Keep it going, it's a great prize. We're going to do the spinny wheel to select that winner at the end of the final round of this season. So not next week, but the week after. We round out what's been the World Series going right around the globe here for F3A, and of course brought to you by FRG and RaceKraft Simulations. So big thanks to them and the round sponsors as well. Some good little round sponsors throughout the weeks of this 15-round series, so it's fantastic. There's your race leader, though. 7 seconds now the margin. He's just eked it out a little bit more. And let's go back to Chris Barnes, another of the tanked SRT drivers tonight. He's chasing down Jay Dixon. We're right on board here with Barnesy. So Sam Katakazinas just up the road as well, and then they can also see Lee, who's been driving very, very well. He's the next in line, so they'll be trying to just close in, get onto the back of these drivers and make some overtakes stick. The sun's shining again now. Let's see if the weather's changed. It's still 32 degrees, so it's dropped another 2 degrees since we started the race. Whether or not they're changing their tyres tonight, I'm not sure. We heard in the pre-races both RaceKraft drivers come into the pits together now. So into the pit lane, Lutsu and Mitchell from 3rd and 4th. So they've given up on the fact of a safety car tonight. Let's see if Mitchell doesn't just try and short fuel this and jump ahead of his teammate. So where are they going to be in the pits? Mitchell will be behind in the box. Stops now. He's straight onto the limit. Waiting, taking fuel on board. He takes 5.25. In fact, he takes 5.73. It was 5.25 from Lutsu. So Lutsu took a little bit less fuel. And they come back out into a bit of a gap. I think, yeah, 4.5 seconds to Chris Barnes in P10. So that's not too bad. That'll just give them a little bit of breathing space. There goes Barnes. Where's Lutsu? He's coming through now. Mitchell in tow. And you've got Dave Roberts as well. So that's worked out well for the RaceKraft boys. And their main fight now is with Benjamin Roberts. So Roberts, who's up in P2, the gap between himself and Mitchell and Lutsu is 26 seconds. So they're going to have to try and put in some quali laps now if they can. A little bit of cross promo here for what's going on tomorrow night too. We've got the brand new series that's going to kick off tomorrow night. It's the Logitech G Supercars Pro Invitational, and I'm doing the production for that. We've got some great commentators in the house as Laddick and Roberts goes into the pits now from the lead of the race. Rob Crouch P3. He'll go into the pits too, so they must be at the end of the window now. But Walt, he's going to head to the lane, so all the drivers now pitting up near the top. Holko as well, he's going to stay out, so he's going to go to the lead of this race, I think. Benny Holko, he's going to enjoy ticking that box of leading an F3A World Series race. He comes out, well, he goes through, in fact, just ahead of Laddick, who comes out of the pits just behind him. So, will that hurt Laddick at all? Let's see where Roberts comes out too, because remember, Roberts is fighting with those RaceKraft guys who are just on 6 seconds behind. So, there you go. Mitchell has a little look to the inside on his teammate now and goes down the inside. So, bit of a switch around here. Christopher Mitchell moves up ahead of Gianni Lutsu, and I wonder if the team orders was playing a part here. And like I suggested, maybe Christopher said, hey, look, let me have a go at Roberts here. I think I can probably try and catch him. And he's going to get that chance right now, and obviously if it doesn't pay off and he can't catch him, I'll probably end up switching that position back towards the end of the race. But Mitchell now up into 6th. We've got 3 drivers in the top 6 that haven't stopped. Holko, who leads the race, Edwards and Katakazinas in 4th place, 3rd and 4th, that has still to stop. Benny Dutton now on your screen. Some battles back in the field. Let's go right back to Lockie Taylor. This is a good one between Riso Gorman and Jay Dixon. In fact, let's just stay with this for a minute, because I reckon Jay Dixon's about to put a send here on Riso Gorman, who we're on board with. He's got a great toe down the back straight. Here they go into the braking zone. Not close enough, so O'Gorman holds position for now. Katakazinas, Holko and Edwards all in the pits, by the way, from the lead. So that'll give us back the genuine order in this race. Laddick leads Roberts, leads Christopher Mitchell and Lutsu. So that change of position, like I said, between the RaceKraft guys, actually puts Mitchell now up into a podium spot, 33.5, nearly 34 minutes into the race, without a safety car. Can you believe? So safety car's been parked in the shed and hasn't been out yet tonight. I know Roberts and Capel both out there ready to help out if needed, but so far tonight we haven't needed it, as we see Dixon now does put the move on and he goes down the inside and will get that complete, I think, as they head up the hill. So the 402 moves ahead of Reese O'Gorman. Job done in the background. There goes Roberts with Mabry, Taylor, Clayton. Have we got a spinner up ahead? No, we don't. It's a good battle though. I tell you what, O'Gorman is only just holding on here from Dixon and Mabry as they come back at him. Let's ride on board down the hill with Mabry. I'm sorry, Sean Malloy, get it right. DFR purple driver. He's in the top 15 now. He can probably sense he can get a couple more positions if he can stay right here behind Dixon. And watch this run now onto this back straightaway. They'll come out from behind the trees. And can he get close enough with the slipstream to make the move? So another 33.4. Look at the speed of Laddick. 1 minute 33.47 at the 35-minute mark of this race. He is in a different world right now. That is so quick. 33.9, so 5/10 off the pace. P2 Benjamin Roberts. And that match there by Christopher Mitchell. So there you go. There's your answer. Mitchell's done a 33.92. Lutsu in tow did a 33.93. So how close is it between these guys? Incredibly close. Katakazinas on the radio again. I wonder what that's to do with. I just saw a couple of times now Sam's been on the radio, whether it be to race control or who, I'm not sure. Not sure what's bothered him there. He's just ahead of Shane Russell. He's made up 10 spots tonight, Sam. Fantastic race. He stopped on lap 21, took 5.3 seconds worth of fuel, but only one spot now outside of the top 10 for the TBR driver. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give us a follow on Facebook as well if you haven't already. It's great to have your company. We've got so much happening. RaceStars TV over the next little while. Like I said, tomorrow night we do the Pro Invitational for Logitech G with the V8 supercars. All the best drivers that you see in the Scops and the E Series, those sort of things. It's going to be a great amount of very, very, very fast drivers out on the race circuit. But then we obviously go to V8 Vets for another couple of nights. Thursday, Friday, Sunday is the third last round of the ASCC, Australian Sports Car Championship GT3 event, so that will be fun as well. And then of course we're back with the Road to Rumble F3A, and it all happens again the week after as we now see them switch back positions. Ben Dutton is in the fence, so here we go. This could be a late safety car, and this would change things around big time. So Dutton's in the wall, and he was having a good race to that point as well, but he's not going anywhere now. This could be, like I said, oh, there's some birds flying past us there. Very good iRacing. Oh, he's been given permission to tow, so there you go. We're not going to get that safety car we were all hoping for with just on 12 minutes to go in the race. So the safety car drivers, I wonder if they've nicked off and they're having a bit of a snooze. I would have thought that would have been a safety car moment, but it's not to be. We continue on. Kaniska here battling with Cameron Edwards over 8th place. Good little fight here. Let's jump on board with Edwards looking back. So up 11 spots tonight, Cameron Edwards. What a great drive that is. And we're going to flick back to this other battle too in a second between O'Gorman, Dixon and Malloy. They're not giving up, these drivers. It is flat out. Look at the way that Kaniska goes down the inside with the big dive. He almost gets it done. A 33.1, new fastest lap of the race for Jaden Laddick. He's just toying out in front now as Kaniska tries to go round the outside. It's not going to stick through there. Dixon back in behind as well as we watch this little battle. Dixon and O'Gorman, they've been fighting lap after lap, these three drivers. Malloy's at the back of that too. It's just incredible. It's not over yet for Malloy. He's got to get back engaged with the back of Jay Dixon here because he's just lost a couple of car lengths onto the pit straight. But this time Dixon's close. He'll get a great slipstream down the pit straight here, the 402. He'll sneak alongside at the end of the straightaway. Here he goes. And this should be job done into the braking zone for turn 1. There they go. And yep, easy pass. Jay Dixon moves it up into 12th place now. O'Gorman back to 13th. Malloy is dropping off the back. And then we look back to Barnes. Hardy, he's in tow. This is a good battle too between Hardy and Barnes. They're flat out. This is for 15th place, and Barnes is up 16 spots in the race. Gee whiz, we got some big movers and shakers out there tonight as O'Gorman still under pressure here. Jay Dixon all over his rear wing at the moment. Down the inside, just thinks about poking the nose in there. You can get into an awful crash if you do that the wrong way. We've already seen Kaniska tonight leave space and save what would have been a huge incident. But wowee, they're racing well. These guys wheel to wheel with no contact. Now Malloy is all over the back of Dixon. He'll get a run onto him down the back straight away. Let's watch this. I reckon Malloy might get his shot now with Dixon. Here we go. Not close enough once again. Hardy in the background, still bolted to the back of Barnes as well. Great driving. Let's go back to Laddick, give him a bit of air time as we enter the final 10 minutes of the race. Pit strategy, this is how it looks tonight. All pretty similar except for O'Gorman, who stopped early. He wanted to offset it a little bit. He was probably hoping for a safety car at the right moment that would just help him jump up the order. He's got P12, not bad at all with a couple of other drivers close to him. But all in all, it's been a very similar strategy for all the drivers tonight as once again we see Dixon having a look to the inside of O'Gorman, and I reckon Malloy might try and fire his way through as well. He thought about it. Dixon hangs on for now. Up the hill they go. Hardy ahead of Barnes. Barnes in tow, trying to chase him down under the Repsol bridge. Back end of that car. Look at the way it's four-wheel drifting through the corner there, Lee Hardy in front. You can just see it's not attached well to the road. He's having to drive the pants out of that thing tonight. Sarah's in the house, says, "What's up, guys? How's it going?" It's going pretty well. It's busy. It's busy out on the racetrack. Up the front, the gaps are pretty big though. Laddick leads. There he is, coming onto the pit straight. Lap 27, 9.9 seconds ahead of Benjamin Roberts. There's then a further 5.6 seconds back to Lutzu, who's got back ahead of his teammate now and is scooting off into the future. There he is, just having a quick drink of some water down the pit straight. Good opportunity to take some fluids on board. Mitchell, who's given that position back after not being able to press up onto the back of Benjamin Roberts, decided that, okay, we'll switch it back. Sorry, couldn't do any better. They're very similar in pace, these two, and their best lap times tonight. Mitchell has a 33.90 versus a 33.93 for Lutzu, so very, very similar in race time, but not being able to make an impression at this stage on Benjamin Roberts. Malloy and Reese O'Gorman battle again. O'Gorman down the inside has a little bit of a look. He tucks in behind and up the hill we go. He's right on the tail now. Had to back out of the throttle mid-corner at turn 3. And now he chases down at Malloy again, who's now at 24 spots into the top 13. Sean Malloy on fire. Hey, what's going on with Lutz? I can just see a big moment for him. Now, is he okay? He's okay. Try and back that up. I wonder if I've got a moment there. We probably can't, but let's just see if we can take this back a bit and have a quick look at Lutzu. I just saw him wobbling the wheel. Now is this up through the top of the hill here? Did he have a moment? Just a quick replay. May have been down at the end of this straightaway, so just keep an eye on this before we go back to live. But he went in very deep there. Mitchell came right up onto his tail and got a bit out of shape somewhere here. The back end there of the car just starting to work around a little bit. Mitchell's right with him, and then through the final corner as well. Yeah, Mitchell really regaining a lot of momentum on him through that lap, and that puts him now within 2/10 again. Jack Mara's backwards and off the circuit in 24th place. So he's just come together with someone down there as well. And is he stuck or is he going to get going again? I think he's just waiting for the traffic to go through. Yeah, he's just waiting. He gets back out onto the track in 29th, so that's gone horribly wrong there for Jack. Up to that point he was doing all right, as we see Lutzu now with Mitchell. Look at that, 7/10 it took out of him on lap 27. That was the issue. And now we're seeing some lock-ups and a little error or two at the 44-minute mark of this race. For Gianni, just sneaking in. It's hard. They've got to keep their concentration for so long in a race like this where you're at 10/10 and then you've got the battles with your teammates or competitors. It just keeps you mentally on the limit throughout the whole race. Look at this. There's some games going on now as well. He's having fun too. They're laughing. Gianni, as he weaves, trying to break the toe. It's all fun and games. Of course, until you crash into your teammate Christopher Mitchell. I can see him having a giggle too as he tucks in behind the other RaceKraft entry. They're running 3rd and 4th. Not bad for a team sponsoring this series. Onto the pit straight we go again. And there's the gap between those two RaceKraft boys. We're going to go duck back in the backers once again. They weave around trying to break that toe. Let's go back in the order as we start the 5 minutes to go countdown. Dave Roberts and Mabry's backwards as well. Mabry's gone off. He was just fighting, I think, with Roberts. Now he's going to drop way back down the order. Reese Clayton goes through. And Jacob Mabry recovering there back to 20th spot now with that little error late in the race. So it's always hard when you make a meal of it this late in the race. And there goes the 44 of Dave Roberts down the inside on Chris Barnes and says thank you. Look at that, he's chopped some great time out of him in the last few laps. That's why he's moved up another position. Andrew Johnson out there tonight chasing Lockie Taylor for an overtake. Goes to the inside at the end of the pit straight. And job done, it should be anyway, as he goes through. Excellent move. Andrew Johnson now up into 22nd place, ahead of Taylor, Crespo, Pocock, and Kalen Arthur down there in 26th. And it's Brenton Hawkins and Kieran Ellis tonight. He's still got some gains, 2 positions he's made up as he runs around there in 28th place, the young fella who's up there once again in gold tonight, enjoying himself and driving Johnny Lee's RaceKraft rig. So a very special night for him. He'll be enjoying this one, and he'll probably have to go and get himself a nice little bank loan if he wants a similar setup to that one, I reckon. I think that's got all the bells and whistles on that one. As we see, here's a move. Mitchell's having a go on his teammate once again. They're going wheel to wheel, these two, down at the end of the pit straight. Mitchell will sweep in front. He does. He gets himself up into 3rd. So it's on between these drivers now. He's got a big smile on his face. But can he stay there ahead of Gianni, who's coming back at him? Gets a run now to the right-hand side. They're wheel to wheel. He hangs it on the outside. He leaves the car space so his teammate can have a go. Now Lutsu will try and jump in behind him, maybe dive down the inside. As we head down the hill, Mitchell's all locked up and a little bit sideways as well. Big moment for him there. And, oh wow, it's all on, isn't it? These guys, as Mitchell's camera just dropped out on us as well. Let's hope he hasn't got internet issues there. We've lost his camera. We'll jump on with Gianni here for a second as they go up now onto the back straightaway. Gianni's got himself not a bad little toe. Will he try and dive down the inside of Mitchell in the braking zone? He doesn't. Holds position. Gee, these guys have had a good fight for what is the final place on the podium tonight. Held by Christopher Mitchell, who just loses the back end there. Gianni gets a great look at him. He may get a good run now onto the pit straight because he's tucked right up underneath the rear wing. Yeah, the push and the aero wash from these cars is quite critical. You do lose a lot of front end grip. And onto the pit straight, you can see drop back about a car length or 2. Gianni, but here comes the run, and Mitchell makes him go the long way round the outside. Excellent racing. Here they go into the braking zone for turn 1, and who's going to be on top at the other end? It is Christopher Mitchell, still leading up the hill. Gianni in tow. Great scrap to watch. Dixon as well, still fighting here with Shane Russell, Dixon and Malloy in this little battle back down the field. So you can see Dixon's just dropped back a little bit off the back of Russell. Malloy, he's trying to catch him. Reese O'Gorman is trying to get back into this as well. There goes O'Gorman. He's got Hardy behind him, and then Roberts, and then Barnes and Clayton as well. Here comes Clayton into the braking zone with Barker just behind. There's Brett we haven't seen too much of tonight, P20 for him. We're going to get probably one more lap in this race. Just watching the time as Laddick comes down through the final couple of corners now. It will be the final lap of the race. So the white flag will drop here for Jaden Laddick. He's driven a perfect race. He's 11.7 seconds in front. Mitchell's just gone back behind Lutsu now. So there's been an overtake, and these two are not afraid to battle wheel to wheel as Mitchell goes back in front of him again now. And I'll tell you what, oh, there was a car off the circuit there as well. That was, I think Clayton was off the track at the final corner. And who's going to get this? Who's going to win it? Look at the run down the pit straight as well. Luke says O'Gorman's running out of fuel too, which isn't ideal. But Lutsu leads us down into the braking zone for turn 1. They're side by side. Mitchell just drops back in behind now. Up the hill they go. Still wheel to wheel as they head through turn 3. And Mitchell somehow hangs on. Wowee, this is a big fight for P3, the final step of the podium. Lutsu fires it back down on the inside at him. And I can't watch. Oh, there's going to be a spin. Surely Lutsu somehow hung on to that. He's fighting so hard. Meanwhile, Jaden Laddick is bringing it home. Mitchell back in front again. So it's all on between these two. Like I said, we've lost Mitchell's camera, but we will flick back to this last couple of corners. But Jaden Laddick, he's just coming up towards the end of the circuit now, and this is going to be a championship drive for him because he'll extend his lead back to where it was, or a similar place to where it was prior to the previous round where he had a shocker. And Jaden Laddick will take the checker flag tonight. What a great victory and what a drive. 11.8 seconds clear of Roberts, who's going to get second. There he is. He comes through the final corner now. Roberts will take the checker flag for P2. Here's the final position. It's Lutsu just ahead of Mitchell. He's having a good laugh. And I don't know what's just happened there, but it will be Lutsu. Is he out of fuel? There's a bit of a cough and splutter there, but he gets the win. Well, he gets P3 anyway, but a win over his teammate, he enjoys that. And what a fight to the flag. 1, 2, 3, Laddick, Roberts and Lutsu. Mitchell gets 4th. Rob Crouch comes home in 5th. Rewalt, Holko, Edwards, Kanitska, and Sam Katakizinas inside the top 10. Great drive for him. Comes home in 10th place ahead of Russell, Dixon, Malloy, Roberts, Hardy, and then Barnes. Mabry got 17th in the end over Barker, Griffiths and Johnson, who are just coming through the final corners now. There's a good little battle here between Johnson and Reese O'Gorman, who we've been told is running out of fuel. He's got Lockie Taylor just behind him. Is he going to splutter his way to the line? O'Gorman just gets it home, and he gets himself 21st place ahead of Taylor, Crespo, Pocock, Arthur, Ellis, Hawkins, Clayton, Rubok, and Bizot, your top 30 drivers. Wowee, that was a good race. We'll come back with some podium interviews shortly. We'll wrap it all up here on RaceStars TV for the F3A round number 12 of the World Series, live from Catalonia. Results up on the screen. 12-second victory there. Laddick over Roberts and Lucy, your top 3. What a great performance it was too. 23.4 seconds back Lutsu and Mitchell. Look at that, 23.8. That was super close at the finish. And a great race to round it out. Let's talk to our drivers in a second, but we'll wait for Laddick back in winning form. But wow, this delivers. It continues to deliver this series. It is exciting with only 2 rounds to go now. Who is going to take out this championship? Who will be second? Who will be third? It's still all open. I think that's going to cement Laddick very much the favourite now heading into the final couple of rounds. But all in all, it could go down to the wire. Let's bring him in now for a chat. And your race winner tonight, Jaden Laddick. Congratulations, man. Back on the top step. And it looked like a nice cruisy race for you. But gee, you're putting in some quick lap times.
Yeah, it's good to have some points after last week where my monitor wouldn't turn on, so I couldn't qualify. Yeah, just good to have some points back because I lost a fair bit. So yeah.
Wasn't sure what happened to you last week, so that's interesting to know the details now. And that's really unlucky, man, because you had a round to forget, I guess, and your championship lead went back to what was it, 42 points, I think, coming into tonight. So at least you've got that back on the winning roll now.
Yeah, it's good to get some stuff back. It was just really unlucky, and then there was no safety car last week as well, so just to make it even worse.
Yeah, that's it. And Benny, tonight P2, mate. The first part of the race just looks like you were holding back, saving a bit of fuel maybe, and then you were able to scoot away from the RaceKraft guys at the end there and secure that second position.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. I'd like to say it was fuel saving, but that's just all I'm really comfortable with around here. This is my absolute worst track in sim racing, so I'll take second any day.
Well, nice job, mate. It looked good out there. Second, and also good for your championship against Gianni, who is your closest competitor, I guess, to try and nail that second spot in the championship. So Gianni, mate, we love watching that battle with Christopher. There was a lot of laughing going on there. That's the spirit of sim racing. That's the spirit of what we do here with F3A. So it was great to watch, mate. Just talk us through those last couple of laps.
Oh, I am absolutely mind blown after that one. That was some of, or if not some of the best racing I've had on iRacing ever before. Bloody tops to Chrissy on just keeping it all clean and giving each other room. That was amazing. But yeah, it was it's great to be back on the podium. Obviously, it's been a few rounds since I think it was Monza since I've been on the podium. So yeah, good to get some points. Obviously, yeah, really good for the drivers in the teams championship. Obviously 3 and 4 for me and Chrissy tonight, and obviously Kieran back there as well. He was adding some points, but yeah, that was some unreal racing. yeah, I'm honestly blown for words. That was something. I thought we were in the feds, to be honest. But yeah, we both sent it, and yeah, somehow came out there on top.
Yeah, we delivered some action, so thanks for that. Good race tonight. A couple of points where maybe a safety car may have come out, but drivers escaping back to the pits. It just meant that the gap to obviously the lead was just too far. And I did see, did you guys try a bit of a swap around there with Christopher having a run at Benjamin, then swapping back?
Yeah, well, obviously I was up behind Ben for quite a few laps, and then yeah, he just turned it up another gear and yeah, just pulled away. But yeah, no, then Chrissy had more pace than me at that point, and he sort of closed up, and yeah, no, he was sort of faster than me, I could tell, but I wanted to keep position. But yeah, no, I just said, well, he wanted just to go by and give it a go, so I let him go, and then yeah, out in the F3A, just sort of, I don't know, seems to lose pace when you're out in front, and then the car behind seems to just regain all their tyre life and go at it again. But yeah, it was a bit sloppy on my end, made a few mistakes that sort of, yeah, closed in that gap a bit closer than I would have wanted, but yeah, all in all, it was a great race, and yeah, big thanks to RaceKraft once again, and for supporting me, and yeah, thanks to Aaron and all that, and Chris and Kieran and Andrew all for the support during the race. It was really good.
Excellent effort tonight. Let's do some thank you, starting with our race winner tonight, Jaden. Who would you like to thank, man, for the win?
RaceStars, F3A. I don't know, some random people. I don't know anymore.
Well done, mate. Well done with the win. And Benny, who would you like to thank? P2.
Big thanks to RaceStars, FRG, Mini Muscle Cars, Machine Cult, VRS, RaceKraft, and all the other competitors.
Fantastic. And then P3, finally tonight, Gianni, who would you like to thank?
Well, obviously, big thanks to you, Luke, for holding all the live stream and everything. It wouldn't be able to put on, well, show other people a good show without your program, basically. And yeah, big thanks to RaceKraft as well for giving me the awesome computer, and yeah, soon to be a new rig. But yeah, no, big thanks to them and Johnny and all the boys at RaceKraft, Chris, Kieran, and Aaron and Andrew and all the guys for their support. And yeah, 2 rounds to go, so yeah, no, we're looking pretty good in the teams championship. It's pretty tight up there, but yeah, good results like this definitely helped it out. So fingers crossed we can come home with that.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's your top 3 tonight. Jaden Laddick with the win, Benjamin Roberts, P2, Gianni Luzzi, P3, your podium. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers. All right, we'll head across now to Rue Koistra, the Mexican wrestling legend. How are you tonight, buddy?
It was a good night. I am amazing. I just want to say, Gianni, your rig's been waiting for 5 days, mate. So you're saying, I can't wait to pick it up. It's come and gone, mate. You're a week old. You should have picked it up. You should be racing in it right now. Also, Benny Roberts. Has anyone noticed when Benny Roberts is talking, thanking everyone? I think he's got a bit of clicking going on in his little seat there, and it sounds like the paparazzi. Just scroll back when you listen to Benny talking. It sounds like he's got his own little photographic crew taking photos. It must be nice. It must be nice. Anyway, and Jaden just smashed it tonight.
He did. He's so good.
He just went, you know what? I got a failure last week. I'm going to make up for it this week, and just went, see you later. So,
and with 2 rounds to go, it's making him look good, isn't it? For possibly just taking out this championship. It's going to be a tight fight, but it could just take one more unlucky round like he had last week, and it could be all on again for the championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what is it? 150 for a win, and he doesn't have that gap, so it's still on. It's still on down to actually through the order actually. So it's not just the top 2. It's still ongoing, and it takes one bout of COVID, one electric problem, and it could all change. So it's still going.
It's awesome, man. All right. Well, big thanks again to RaceKraft Simulations, and then of course that VRS competition with tonight's code word Ibiza, and we can see some entries coming in there as well. Will Ryan's just entered again, Rob Bowden, Cooper, they're all putting their entries in, so we'll draw that in 2 weeks time with just 2 rounds to go now.
Yeah, with your big fat wheel. That wheel is going to look weird. That wheel's going to have so many people on it. It's just going to be a big weird blur, but that's cool. That's what we want. So that's really good that VRS is always on board, and we're just so happy that they're coming year and year, in and out, and we're all happy here.
Awesome. And next week we've got 2 rounds to go. Where are we off to next week? Because has the final round also been decided on the track yet?
It has. So next week we've got Gilles Villeneuve. And the following week, we got a bit of Le Mans action coming up. Le Mans. So like we've gone from French Canada to French, and we'll think about all these different tracks to go for. And like it's a World Series, we can't double up on countries. We haven't done France, so we're doing Le Mans. I've done. We've made an extra. Basically, we threw the back wing away. So you'll be able to see it on the actual broadcast, but the wing's not there. It's basically no downforce. Good luck. I think the pace car is actually full speed, so you know everything we kind of half worked it out, and it should be a draft battle to the end. Actually,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. So excellent. Looking forward to it. Thanks for all your hard work again, Roo, and all the team. Over in Race Control, we did drop in. You probably saw me drop in for a little minute and have a look at your screen. So you're very busy in there.
We heard it. We heard the little. We're like, who knows our password? And we realised it was you. So that's all good.
Awesome, man. Well, take care and thanks again, Roo. We'll see you next week.
All right, mate. We'll see you next week.
See you, mate. All right, that's Roo Koistra, the maestro of the series, who puts it all together and does a great job. All right, that's it for tonight. Jaden Laddick takes out the win. What a great performance as well. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for this brand new Logitech G Pro Invitational Series, Supercar Series, live via RaceStars TV, but also on their own YouTube channel. I'm sure we'll be sharing the links for that as tomorrow goes on. So take care. We'll see you soon. And I'm just going to finish off, of course. Let's just quickly flick up that fantastic final teaser for the RaceKraft rig. Here it is. Good night.